guys, so I'm currently filming this video at the worst possible time because the weather outside is beautiful and scorching, and I'm about to tell you my top 5 binge-worthy Netflix / shows you can watch in lockdown. So firstly, if you're watching this video and the weather is still like that, get your butt in the garden, stay home, stay safe, keep aware. But get out in your garden and sunbathe and then watch these shows because they're absolutely amazing. So I'm gonna get on with telling you my top 5 binge-worthy shows at the moment. So number 1 I'm gonna go with is one of my all-time favourite shows, and I literally watch it every couple of weeks. I rewatch it because I'm obsessed. So it's not only my lockdown show, but it is an amazing show that all my friends are binging at the moment as well, which is The Vampire Diaries. I was obsessed with this since I was like, I must have been 8, 9, 10. I watched it a bit early, I won't lie. But I have been obsessed with it ever since. I mean, I've been a bit of a vampire geek for a long time, but Vampire Diaries is just amazing. It's so good, especially if you're into that whole like cheesy vampire shows, which us girls, most of the time we are, and of course boys are too, don't get me wrong. So yeah, I definitely recommend Vampire Diaries. However, since rewatching it, you kind of have to excuse the first episode because it's kind of just like not how the rest of the season is at all. It is a bit too cliche vampire, but it just gets so much better and it is worth the dodgy first episode. So in short, Vampire Diaries is basically the obvious love story with love triangles, love squares, love hexagons, all sorts of love. However, it is vampires, werewolves, doppelgangers, all sorts, like everything, hybrids, sirens, like any like supernatural character you can possibly think of is in Vampire Diaries, but it is just amazing and you will cry. Like, I promise you, if you're watching it and you get involved, which you just can't, like you can't not get involved with something you're watching, you will cry your little eyes out. Oh my gosh. So number 2 is something I haven't actually finished yet, which is Money Heist. Obviously, for people that don't know, it is in Spanish. However, I've watched it with the English translations the whole way through, which has obviously been dubbed. And if I'm honest, this might just be being a bit backwards, but I didn't notice. See, I just didn't notice. I just thought it was normal. And then I was talking to my boyfriend about it and he was like, yeah, no, it's not them talking, like they're Spanish. I was like, oh, really? I'm just a bit oblivious, but I'm absolutely loving it so far. We are on just like the last episode of part 3 and there's currently 4 parts out. It's just so good. In brief, what it's about is a money heist and kind of the ins and outs of how they are, how the plans are made and how they go along, and it's just like every time you think something's going on, it's just the complete opposite, and it's just amazing. Like, it's one of those programs you have to really sit and watch though, because so many little things happen that lead to this one big thing, and it's just like it's amazing. It's obviously not exactly the same. However, if you like Prison Break, I'm pretty sure you'll probably love Money Heist because it's kind of the similar idea, but it's just amazing. So my third binge-worthy show is High School Musical, the musical, the series. Right, so when I first started watching this, I was just watching it because I needed to have a laugh, basically, and I was like, how funny they've tried to make a musical series about a musical. It was just like a bit like, oh wow, I need to watch this. So the first episodes were kind of just me joking around watching it. However, I got so indulged in this and I've just finished it, and I think it's completely out of order how the ending went down. However, I completely recommend it. It's so fun, so lighthearted, and it's just, yeah, it's just so cheesy, and it's High School Musical. Like, if you do musical theatre and you're about my age and a little bit older probably, I almost guarantee High School Musical is the reason you're doing musical theatre right now. In short, it's basically like a love story, and then auditions for High School Musical, the musical, then putting on High School Musical, and all like the backstories and love affairs and everything not really love affairs, they're teenagers, but you know what I mean, like everything kind of going on. To basically, if you like High School Musical, you will 100% love it because it will just bring back so many memories. There's so many cute cameos and it's like, oh, my little heart. Oh, and it is set in the actual High School Musical high school, so you get to see places you're very familiar with. High School Musical, the musical, the series, is actually on Disney Plus, which if you haven't all got, I definitely recommend, because there's so many memories on there, like Hannah Montana, oh my god, and Sweet Life, and all of the amazing Disney movies. It's the best. But this is not a video about Disney Plus, so let's go on to the next one. So the next one is kind of a major throwback for me, as I watched this. Wow, when did I started watching this? I've kind of grown up with it because it's one of my mum's favourites. But I binge watched it when I was 11, 12, maybe 13. Kind of that age, I like completely finished it. And I'm just kind of back on that boat now, which is Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I'm obsessed with it, and it's just amazing. Like, it's honestly one of the best seasons, and there's just so many amazing episodes in there. I just completely recommend if you like 90s cheesy vampire stuff. If you want just something to watch where you like, there's so many episodes. There's like some that are like hilarious, some that are like heart-wrenchingly sad, and just like, oh, it just takes you on a roller coaster. So many laughs, so many tears, and it's just one of my all-time favourites, and I always recommend it. So in short, what Buffy is about, it's basically about a girl called Buffy who is the Vampire Slayer. It's based on the movie Buffy the Vampire Slayer, so you kind of learn all that in that movie. However, I didn't watch that before I came onto the series. So it's basically about a girl called Buffy who's a vampire slayer, and kind of the story of her friends, witches, magic, vampires, demons, all sorts. There's kind of like a monster of a week through like the first season. Just the first season's a little bit more like than the rest, but the rest is just phenomenal, and I just love it all. But you kind of do have to remember when it was made, which obviously was the 90s, so the special effects back then were like phenomenal, but now watching them back now, it's a little bit more like, alright, not so good. Like, that could have been done so much better. But when you watch it, you kind of forget what you're watching, and it's just like, yeah, it makes sense. You can still see the green screen in that. And my last and final one is Sex Education. I didn't actually watch this in lockdown. I finished it just before lockdown, because obviously season 2 has just come out, but I fully recommend it. It is just amazing. It's so funny. Obviously, you know, for the age, so I would be like, I think it's 15, and you can see why, because there is like nudity, and obviously by the title you can kind of tell what it's all going to be about, so bear that in mind when you go to watch it. And if you get a bit embarrassed, I wouldn't watch it in front of your parents, because there are some scenes in there that are slightly more risque, but it is so much fun. It's funny, it's also like, it covers some really serious like themes, which is so good, and it's actually really educational. Like, you learn so much from it, and I'm like, oh, I didn't know that, but now I do. It's actually really, really good, so I would definitely recommend that. Again, in short, what it's about is basically about a boy called Otis, whose mum is a sex therapist, and he decides, well, with help from other people, he decides he's going to do some sex therapy at school, and it's kind of about different people's sex stories, and yeah, like his awkward love life and his awkward life in general, basically. And it also just covers growing up as a teenager and the awkwardness of being a teenager. I could list 100 more shows that I've been watching. I've been watching Big Mouth, Rick and Morty, all those kind of cartoons as well. But they are one of the main 5 that I would advise for you to watch if you're getting a bit bored in lockdown, which of course we all are. And please just remember to stay safe, stay aware, and stay inside, and don't go out. Just don't go out. Just stay safe and be careful. And I love you all. Wishing so much love and health and happiness to you all. And we'll get through it all together. And yeah, keep happy.